Hey guys, welcome back to the news. Today is March 22nd, 2023, and the news is sponsored by Analog Spotlight, a group of photographic retailers and manufacturers who have joined together to support analog photographic media and help keep analog photography thriving worldwide. The brands are Cameradactyl, Cosmo Foto, Chroma cameras, Reveni Labs, RealitySoSubtle, Intrepid cameras, Pixl-ltr, Brooklyn film camera, ONDU cameras, standard cameras, 20th century cameras, Pictoriographica, Analogue Wonderland, Cinestill, large format Camerastore, Carmencita Film Lab, RH Designs, Imago, and Alvandi cameras. And I just remembered one news while I was saying that. So we're here at the news. As always, remember, thanks to the sponsors, the news are here on YouTube, free for everybody. I've been on holidays a couple of weeks ago, and then it's taken a while to get back on the news. But let's start immediately into it. First of all, Smarter Every Day, the YouTube channel all about engineering, has been, I did a video at my current work, Kamerastore, and it's pretty cool. He gets all into the intricacies of like a shutter tester from Leica from like the 1920s, 1930s, which basically has a spinning drum and so on. It's pretty cool to see a massive YouTube channel with, I think, 11 million subscribers do a YouTube video about film technology. He's done Kodak tours and stuff like that, but it was pretty cool. I met him for a day, so it was destined. Basically, was really nice, and I really enjoyed it. So I highly recommend you go watch it. It's pretty cool. Then we have from one of the sponsors, Carmencita Film Lab has started their venture on YouTube. They have started with a video about the recap of 2022 in numbers. As many of us know labs, but maybe don't have a local lab, it's really cool to see what a modern 2023 lab is doing from the perspective of what machines they use, how many people they have, how many roles are going through, etc. Do remember, film is not in the heyday of what it was, so labs are very different, but it's nice to see Albert giving it a try and showing people what it is. Albert's the owner of Carmencita. Then we have news from another sponsor, Cosmo Foto. He has launched Cameraburo, a store where he sells film cameras that have been tested with a roll of film. This is not usually the case in most stores. Usually they just give it a quick test and see if it's okay. Cameraburo now is giving the full roll test to cameras. So that's available right now. I'll leave the link below. Then from another sponsor, there's a lot of sponsors, so there's a lot of news. But they're film industry news, so this is basically the whole point. Reveni Labs has launched the Dunkbot processor Kickstarter campaign. So you kind of need a bit of an understanding what a Dunkbot is. It's a dip and dunk machine that Reveni Labs has come up with, which is basically a rotating machine that has different tanks with the chemicals. So all you have to do is basically shoot some film, load the reels in the dark, put it in the special tank that Reveni Labs provides with the Dunkbot, and then fill the chemicals inside those tanks. Then they have a heated pad under, so basically it warms up all the chemicals to the right temperatures, and then the machine starts going in, then out, then in, then out, and turning and doing this, so on. It's fully automated in the sense that it basically is not a dry-to-dry machine like some dip and dunks, like massive scale ones are, but it does do that rotating procedure. So while it is doing that, you can go ahead and walk away. This machine is at Kickstarter right now. It's at 60 backers. Matt is asking for 300,000 US dollars, so Canadian dollars. He's based in Canada. And the Dunkbot has a very small footprint. It basically is the size of like a large pizza. Size and context is hard, but the dip and dunk machines have always been massive rooms in labs. So this is kind of like a small to medium user that develops maybe 4 to 6 rolls a week and wants something that they don't have to be monitoring all the time. I currently use a Jobo CPE 2 or 3 depending, and that machine needs you filling in chemicals and pouring them out and so on. This machine doesn't need you to do that. So I recommend you go watch it. Matt shows it in a video, all the benefits of it, but it's on Kickstarter right now. Talking about Indiegogo and Kickstarter and crowdfunding campaigns, we have Valoi with the Easy 35 Indiegogo campaign. They have come up with, give me a second, I have one here. They have come up with the Easy 35. What the Easy 35 is a light source with basically a film holder and extension tubes to be able to scan 35 millimeters. This is an Indiegogo, like I said. They started yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, this removes the whole setup for film camera scanning. So if you're digitizing and you have a reproduction arm and you have a digital camera and so on, this removes that. It does 35 millimeter film. It does it with sprockets or without sprockets. You can choose and check out. And they're working on a slide holder. Obviously, the slide holder is not probably going to be motorized or anything like that. It'll be more manual work, but that will let you do mounted slides. Obviously, unmounted slides can be scanned like this. So this is on Indiegogo. It goes for 139 euros or 159, depending on the options you ask for. You get a little bit more. But yeah, that's on Indiegogo. It's 3D printed. It's pretty sturdy. I actually was asking him for one to see. You won't break this unless you really want to break it. But yeah, it provides a light source and so on. So it's all in one package. All you need is a digital camera macro lens. I made a whole video about it. I'll leave the link below. Then we have another campaign of the Instant Box camera. So this is a kind of camera that's been around for, I would say, over a century. And it's one of those cameras that you would see in the middle of town kind of plaza, where someone would be taking pictures of people, then developing them inside the camera, and then taking a picture of the picture to actually invert. This is very common in Spain, where I come from. It's also called an Afghan camera because I guess they're popular in Afghanistan. And I know some other places around the world do have them. This is a Kickstarter campaign to basically buy a do-it-yourself kind of kit, so you can start doing this kind of experimentation with it, and you can shoot basically positives out and about. It has a built-in lab in a sense where you have trays and you clean the paper. You're usually shooting paper. That gives you a paper negative, and then you shoot it again, that gives you a paper positive. So that's pretty cool. There's a whole website and explanation on the Kickstarter. I'll leave the link below. Then, this is something I read on a forum, and I'm pretty sure it's probably not incorrect. It seems Tetenal has gone bankrupt, and don't quote me on exactly them being bankrupt. But as you know, Tetenal, Germany, after the 2018 Fotokina, filed for bankruptcy. And he had a whole buyout for the ownership, for the chemicals and film industry, and so on. They have been running and they're still running, but the problem is the provider of the services, so the person that was mixing and preparing all the chemicals, has gone bankrupt. So this means Tetenal owns the recipes, owns the how to make them, but doesn't have the facilities. It seems that they have already found a new partner to make the chemicals for them, so hopefully there'll be no disruption in the market. Tetenal does make a lot of C41, E6 chemicals, black and white chemicals, but also for other people like big labs, and they also do it for other brands. For example, HC110 in Europe is made by Tetenal. Now it'll be made by Tetenal under another company that's subcontracted. This is bad news for the film community. I hope they solve it easy. They say they have. I hope you have no issues. If anybody knows more, please let me know in the comments below. Then from another sponsor, we have the RealitySoSubtle Panoramic 35 camera. This is a pinhole camera that shoots basically expand format, so 24 by 30, 65 if I'm not mistaken, and is available right now. If you're into panoramics and 35mm, this might be a camera for you. Then we have the Chroma Cube pan improvements. They have come out with so Chroma camera has come out with improvements to the Cube camera. So the Cube camera, if you haven't seen it, is this tiny little also expand format camera that shoots with Mamiya press lenses. So the Mamiya ones that are like the 127, all the Mamiya Super 23, Mamiya press kind of body lenses. It can adapt those, has a helical, and then it shoots 35mm film on expand format. So they've added a bunch of improvements that people have been asking for. The price for this is around 400, I think it was pounds or euros, so you can check it out, but you do have to provide your lens, obviously, to be able to shoot the Chroma Cube pan. Then we have the Resvot monorail shipping. Oh, another device I'm gonna go get. So, if you've been following the news, you know that Reservoir has basically copied the monorail design or the film trimmer from Fujifilm that they gave in some Olympics to the press. So they sent me a little care package, which I'm very happy to have received. And this is how it comes. Let me open it quickly. But this is already shipping all around the world. We actually got some at work, which we'll be listing. But this basically cuts the leader of your 35mm film. As you can see, it's made out of, I would say, stainless steel. This one's a demo unit because they send it to me as a thank you. But you grab your film, you throw it in there, and then when you snap it, let's see if I can do it on camera. It snaps and it creates a new film leader. As you can see, the leftover film is there. One thing to note that we've noticed here at work is it doesn't work with Santa color film. So Santa color film has a very, very strong base. So when you try to snap it, it actually folds and pulls. That is not because the quality of this product from Reservoir is bad. It's because Santa film is really hard to cut. So take that as is. So thank you, Reservoir, for sending me one. For those people that ordered it, I probably already got it in their mail, but they're shipping already. I'll leave the link below. Then from Stearman Press, we have news of the 645 tank coming. So Stearman Press, as you know, has done the little small tank that does 4 sheets of film for 4x5. So that's why the 445. Now they're making the 645. So this is 6 sheets of film of 4x5. And this uses, if I'm not mistaken, 600 milliliters of chemistry, which is really good. They're changing the molds. I don't know if the both products are going to be continuously sold, the 445 and the 645, but it's compatible in the sense that, like, supposedly it's very much the same size. I think it even uses the same sheet size system, so it should be good. But also from Stearman Press, we have the 8x20 tray from them. So this seems to be Tim Layton, a fellow YouTube photographer, had been requesting to make their SP 8x10 into 8x20. And what they've decided to do is just like chop the end of one or two and then bond them with 3D printed material. So now this makes a massive 8x20 tray holder that you can develop in daylight. By the way, the dip and dank from Matt from Reveni Labs is daylight compatible, so you can develop in the daylight. I forgot to say that. But the 8x20 is now available for $444 US, so you can order it if you're one of those that shoots ultra large format. Also, you can put dividers and do, like, I think 2 8x10s and I think 5x7s. He said not 4x5s because that was just too crazy to have a ton of 4x5s in the tray. Then we have news from Fujifilm, not the kind that we want, but still news. Fujifilm has launched Instax 12. So this is a new version of the Instax. Do remember, Instax is probably the most sold film worldwide in total. And the cameras are extremely popular, which also I consider like a bridge to actually shooting normal film. I did a whole video about it. But this is available now. I think it's like 89 US dollars, euros, wherever you are. Then we have news from Ferrania, and this is not coming from Ferrania. This is coming from someone in the US that ordered from Ferrania. It seems that Film Ferrania has come out with Ferrania Ortho film. It's a cousin, I'll read from my notes. It's a cousin of the P30, the same silver, high silver content, inherently strong contrast, and practically invisible grain, but this time distinctively orthochromatic or ortocromatico. They write it in Italian Spanish. So this is pretty cool. It comes like, it looks like it's a blue hue. The whole label stuff look like blue. They still haven't been able to provide P30 in good stocks everywhere around the world. So I wonder why make ortho when they are still with the P30. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Ferrania. I'm very curious. Then we have an update from Mint. So Mint Cameras has updated their 35mm project. If you go to the link, you have to subscribe with your email, and you can see the camera they're building is a clone aesthetically of a Rollei 35. This is the Rolleiflex camera that was 35mm. It had hyperfocal focusing. There was no viewfinder kind of for focusing. It was only for composing. And it was extremely small, at almost the size of a pack of cigarettes. And it looks like Mint has either bought the molds or bought the project or whatever has happened with Rollei. but this camera is looks very good. It does have the three like lens and two knobs to the sides, but it does seem to have an aperture priority shutter and so on. So this is very, very exciting, at least towards what they're working. I'm very excited about it. Then we have from Omnar, we have the Nico 35 f1.8 conversion. If you know what lens this is, you know it's a heavy duty lens that is, I mean, heavy duty and like the quality and the premium price it entails. And this lens was made for the Nico S cameras, the S2, the S, I don't know the names of the Nico cameras, I never use those. But it's basically their proprietary mount. So they're doing the conversion to L mount, or sorry, to M mount with the Omnar base. So Omnar has basically designed a whole helicoid for conversions, and this is available now if you have a lens that's Nico, I guess S mount, and it will be converted to Leica M for 2,400 pounds. Like I said, this is a very expensive lens when it comes in LTM or M. I think they made a few in that mount. So if you want to convert it to M, you can do this. Then also from Omnar, we have the Bertele update. So they've been working on a 50mm f2 lens. There's a bunch of news there. I recommend you go read it. But yeah, basically they're coming out with a very small, very compact, very nice 50mm Bertele lens from Omnar and Skylinet. Then we have Reflex. So Reflex is a company that's been making things for bulk loading and such. They made an automatic bulk loading machine. So this is like a 3D printed gizmo, and I'm saying 3D printed, it might be not 3D printed, but it looks like a 3D printed gizmo with a counter where you put like a bulk loaded magazine, and this does 400 feet and 1,000 feet bulk loaded. So you can do cinema, you can do pretty much anything you want bulk loaded. And once you feed it, you put a canister, you tape it, and then you press a button and it just spools the whole canister into like 40 frames or 38 frames, whatever you want. And then you can cut it and you can do the next one. So it removes the hand cranking like the Reservoir or just the normal bulk loader. It is available right now. It's pre-order. Like I said, it's the 400 feet or 1,000 feet. It is more affordable than the Reservoir, but it does seem to be coming in 3D printed materials and such, and has a little stand to hold the bulk loaded and such. Then we have Light Lens Lab. So Light Lens Lab has been designing lenses based in China, doing a lot of lenses inspired in Leica classics, but they have now come out with the 50mm Kook Pancro Speed 2, I think that's the name, and this is available for M mount, so that's available for pre-order. But at the same time, they've discontinued the Elcan f2mm, which is based on an Elcan 50 from Leica. And this is the exciting stuff to me. They have been working on a Seagull project, the TLR. I think it's made in China, if I'm not mistaken, or was made in China. But they've been recreating the Seagull lenses. And they have some examples for shooting film with the Seagull that are amazing. Like amazing, truly amazing. So I'm very excited to see what comes out of this Seagull, like remanufacturing or reconditioning of the Seagull cameras from Light Lens Lab. So yeah. That is the news for today. Like I said, there was a lot of stuff to cover. I hope you enjoyed the news. I left links to everything below. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the sponsors for sponsoring the news. Also, you can send me an email if I forgot anything. I probably did. But yeah, see you in the next one.